Hello, lovely people, and happy spring. Starting from the back end for this video. Let's see. Those mushroom logs are not likely to fruit in the spring. Those are warm weather. These are the lion's manes. I'm not seeing any new growth right now. Nope, not seeing any new growth here. The asparagus area, the asparagus hasn't broken ground. It survived last year. I put a whole bunch of wood chips on it. Like, it's probably buried an extra 4 inches deeper this year or so. So I'm waiting to see. Waiting to see if it sprouts, when it sprouts, and so on and so forth. The trees are budding a little bit, but have not really seemed to have broken dormancy yet. Very least, they're not growing aggressively. Of my originally, I think, 3 or 4 honeyberry plants, I am down to 1. It's this guy. He's been in this same spot for 2 years, and this is as big as he is. I'm pretty sure I'm getting rid of that and not trying honeyberries again. On the other hand, the horseradish has broken ground. All of those are little parts coming up. But this is, underneath this is basically just one big mass of horseradish root. So, that's doing well. Chives. Green onions. I've been eating on these. These are the Egyptian walking onions. More chives. The garlic bed is doing okay. There were a couple of bulb patches over here, kind of in the front where you can see, but it was nice and warm today. So like this one, and these guys here, and those little guys there, another little guy over there, these are just slow to come up, but they'll eventually come up, I think. Also looks like I may have accidentally dropped a clove somewhere over here, outside of the bed. Whoops. Sage has not started sprouting yet. Good King Henry has not started sprouting yet. This is dandelion and dandelion and rhubarb. And that's sprouting. The strawberries are starting to poke their way up through the mulch, along with some grass. I've never been able to get the grass completely out of here. I'm going to fight it more another day, but not today. The comfrey is starting to grow in places, but it's just fine with the level of mulch that's been on top of it. So I think that these are just the plants that were bigger and more established. The other ones ought to be coming in relatively soon. This bed has irises in it, but I'm not seeing anything up yet. All of the currants and gooseberries have started sprouting. So we will get currants and gooseberries soon, along with some random weeds. Don't know if I mentioned or not, this area where the mulch is raked back, I'm going to turn this into a wildlife pond. Just a little, about 5 foot by 6 foot pond in the back for stuff to come get a drink and not be irritated by me. And yeah, it should help, because I have a hard time keeping that tiny bird bath full. So this should help get more consistent water for more consistent wildlife. Over here, the squirrels have absolutely loved destroying my little patch of radishes that I was trying. Sarah doesn't like when I have a ton of radishes. We never eat them, so tried a small patch. Well, the squirrels destroyed the small patch, so of course they did. But the self-seeded arugula is doing great. That's what all of this is. Over here we have arugula, kale, and a little bit more kale down the row. These are very small kale plants. The only one that really was doing okay under the double cover was the red Russian kale. That's some more arugula back there. This dead, or almost dead line in the back is broccoli. That was a dud. This is Bibb lettuce, butter lettuce. This is I want to say Lumix lettuce. This is a kind of purple oak leaf is what it's called, but it's a loose leaf lettuce. The peas have all started sprouting. The squirrels like to dig in among them, so they're not doing as well as I may have preferred, but they're sprouting. Tatsoi is doing just fine under cover. This behind the stakes is red-leafed romaine. It's getting very red leaves from the cold. And then this is self-sown red-leaf romaine from where I had a plant here and let it go to seed last year. So I'm going to end up with a fair amount of romaine and arugula anyway. So that's nice. There are peas planted all along this fence, all the way up to right over there. They haven't broken ground yet. And then over here is where I've moved around some logs and inoculated some more logs. It's just putting it over here is going to be easier for me to remember to water it. I was forgetting about it and not watering consistently in the back. Rose is still dormant. Rose is still dormant. Blackberry is still dormant. Raspberries. All these little green shoots are raspberry canes. Raspberry brambles. So we will have a full bed of raspberries this coming year. And then nothing in the blueberry bed yet. I am waiting for my blueberry plants to come in the mail. I'm trying to get blueberry plants and try them this year. We'll see. This is going to be my second year attempting them. I just hate that spot. I think it's too dry, but what's essentially the sawdust bed. I'm a little behind on urea for this time around, trying to compost it faster, but I have a whole bunch of cornmeal that they use as eco-friendly compostable cold packs in the HelloFresh or Blue Apron or whatever it is we get. So that's going to go in there and that'll help a little bit. Lavender has almost all survived the winter. That guy didn't do so well. But there are only about 3 bald patches after the winter in the lavender. Grape hyacinths. I love these plants. Cute little plants. This is the first real flowers we're getting this year is from the grape hyacinths. So at least some of them are coming up and they'll be able to survive there. I really just wanted to stick them in a corner somewhere so they would live because I got the bulbs without a great place to put them. So once I'm done doing the front yard, I'm going to put grape hyacinths out there. But between now and then, that's where they're going to stay. The irises, they're looking a little ragged from huge amounts of wood chips being dumped on top of them when I got piles and from bad weather and so on, but they're all solidly up. The gladioluses are not, but the daylilies are. That's what all of these along this row are. So there will be plenty of daylilies, and that's a mixed bag of daylilies. I just got this one because my next door neighbor, guy across the street, took down a big locust tree. So I'm going to spread out these locust wood chips. They say locust wood chips are bad to plant in, but I don't use a ton of them compared to the volume of the soil and all that stuff, and everything breaks down over time. So even if I have a rough year this year, I don't really care. I just want to get something to get this filled out and start killing off the weeds before they get too well established this year. So that's going back out here. And then another layer is going to be horse manure. So I'm waiting. I just got that today. I'm going to spread it out over this last little patch and then horse manure everything probably next weekend or the weekend after. These are daffodils from my family's yard. They're not flower. There's only one that's putting out a flower, but it hasn't bloomed. And I don't know if it's going to. It's been trying for a long time. It's been struggling. Over here, these are daffodils that I got from the store. These are just the regular classic ones. The ones from my family were a mixed pack. But these are other daffodils from the family patch, and those are finally breaking down ground. Today is the first day I've seen those. The Agastache, well, you can't really see it here, but it has survived, so it will come back. I can't remember what kind I planted there. I'm really hoping it's anise hyssop because I have several more anise hyssop plants growing that I wanted to stick in there. And then little lavender plant. The lavender survived, so that's going to start growing soon too. Last bed down the other side. Oregano is just healthy as always. That stuff is basically indestructible here. Grapevines have not broken dormancy yet. The thyme has mostly come back. It's mostly survived. There's this bald spot right here where it didn't get as much water last year, but I'm going to have more water coming into this whole area and spread out through the whole bed next year. This coming year, so I'm not as worried about that. I have a large number, well, 10 is all, June-bearing strawberries. They're called Gurney's Whopper. They make really big berries, but I'm going to try and stick them inside this area, so I don't really care that the thyme didn't do so well. I want to fill this out with strawberries. It's just because my neighbors next door have kids, and I already have a big strawberry patch in the back, but it's kind of struggling, so I wanted to plant another patch that had access, easy access for the neighbors when they're coming and going. And then all the way down, and oregano at the back end. You can see from the water here that I'm having trouble figuring out how to work the swamp cooler and get it to, well, anyway. You can see that there is water coming into this bed, so growth should be pretty quick here. And then last, I need to plant this weekend in this patch right here, I think, either that or over here under the tree. I just got a mixed bag of hostas. I think it's going to go under the tree, actually. So lots of mixed bag of hostas, and they're going to be very pretty because I love hostas. Well, that's about all I got. It's still coming along. It's gorgeous out. The birds are tweeping. The squirrels are making baby squirrels regularly. And yeah, it's spring at the Brit House. Take care, y'all.